failed or forgot to mention was, oh, I should have mentioned it really, I forgot. When we have the Fed, meeting, it's safe to stay off. It's safe to stay off the market. So today Powell was, was on deck. Sorry, my light is off, but you can see me, doesn't matter. So Powell is on deck today. And so I didn't particularly take any trade myself. I've been in one trade and in out, just monitoring it. That's it. But other than that, I think I'm good. I've not really. It's been a quiet week. But again, one of the things we will learn to do, as markets speculators, is to learn to know when not to trade. Okay, I think. Sorry, 1 minute. Some of the things we need to learn not to do is,
Hi, Benga.
I was just asking about you. You good?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, because I changed my phone, so I didn't set the Zoom and then the camera settings, so I could hear you, but I couldn't speak. It wasn't going through, like my voice wasn't going through. Yeah.
Right.
So I had to go out and then
come
fix
back in.
The settings. Yes.
That makes sense. But you're good. That's all that matters. Okay. Yeah. So we're just talking generally. So I was saying regarding the trades, regarding trades generally, when when these guys are on, we try, the Fed, we try as much as possible not to take any trade at all. It was something I forgot to say, but also something I need to also state is that this is a personal thing for me, really. When, regardless of if they're on or not, if there's a setup, I realize if the setup is good, it hits pivot points a few times. Let me just show you what I mean. If it hits a pivot point a few times, most of the time they will play regardless of what happens. And that's something I noticed. So something we should, be wary of. So let me just share my screen. Where is it? There won't be much. Well, there will be much something to talk about, but there will not be as too many things to talk about. For me personally, I don't mind being late to these things. So I think it was crude oil. Let's see, oil, crude, as Capital said it. So this was crude oil. Can't remember what. Oh, the lines are not there. Okay. I think I took in a 30. So let me just check it out quickly. Give me a minute. Just trying to get the group, our group. I know it was today. Yeah, okay. So it was meant to be a short at 79.86, and this was it here. So he's actually moved a little bit. So if we just look into where it started, so it did hit. I was expecting it to. So around, where's my 79? Yeah, this is what I mean by pivot point. Pivot is turning point, where there's a difference. Let me show you something. So if you set this chart to 1 minute, so this is 1 minute channel. Okay, if you put 1 minute channel, you've got to be right at every minute, because I mean you're literally saying, you're playing 1 minute. So at every point, you've got to be right. 1 minute, 1 minute. But if you say 15 minutes, you can see the 1 minute has been compressed. If you say 30 minutes, it's been compressed further, okay, or 1 hour. So this call was made at an hourly based on, no, I think it was 30-minute time frame. So, well, it was made on 30-minute time frame. And if you make it on 30, yeah, I think it was around here. So around this point, I expected a retest, and then what? come back down. Well, this is not today, but or this is not right now. I think it was this morning. So it was made around this point, 79. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. 79.80, somewhere around here. Good. So it was made around here, move, come back down, move, down. So around this point, I'm actually seeing multiple resistance. Okay, resistance, and then around this point, I expected it to come down, for which it should have come down. Yeah, 3 o'clock. There, 30th. Okay, it was around here. Okay, so I was expecting to come down, but then we had Powell, who's making a speech, and whether he's, if he's on board, then of course anything will go at that point. So one thing I wanted to say is that if you're making a trade with the Fed, these are the market determinants. If you're making a trade around that time, what you've got to notice is that play with extremely low margin, so that you have a lot of room, even if to breathe and rally and deep, whichever way it is. But what you need to do if that happens is what I'm trying to say is that once the speech is over, the meeting's over, whatever it is, this thing eventually will play, and it does happen most of the time. Not all the time, it happens most of the time. So unfortunately, I think this didn't really play. I think Bola said she was able to make her money back. She was taking out stop loss maybe, then she was able to make her money back and a bit more, which is amazing for some. In my case, I have been in this. I came back in this. I think I mentioned this. Was it last week or so? So as far as I'm concerned, look, this is what's been happening to me. Not a lot of money involved again. I can't remember what points I was. I think it was 0.705 or so. So this was my entry here. So why that point? So you can see here, beats down, now beats. So this is like let me use a different thing. .70. Let me do this on an hour. I think it was hourly time frame. Yeah. So this was it. So I was looking around this point here. So this zone, which means I was expecting a, right here are my pivot turning points. So this was what I was looking at, and I'm thinking at this point, we should expect a rally, and it was actually moving in my favor. I think I mentioned it in the group then, and then not sure what happened here. Okay, but if you notice again, based on what I have based on my pivot points, if you notice, look, I don't know. Remember, it's a zone, so I don't want to cheat myself. If you notice what's been happening here, we come back right here. So this point seems to be a real good control point. So, I'm not exactly fretting. So it's gone a bit against me and back. So it's just fretting around that point. So it's turning this support to resistance, and now this resistance back to support. So I only need a bit of a good news, and then we can start surging again. But again, like I said, I'm not going to be multiple trades. I'm not too worried about it. Not worried at the slightest. Just let it play, and that's it. So that's the only one I mean right now. I'm not sure which other trades anyone is in, but if anyone is in any other trade that you might want us to have a look, we should have a look. Is there anyone in any precarious situation at all? None? Fantastic. Okay, let's talk about, is that a long or short? Let's just look at this. Ooh. Ooh, what was your entry point? Someone took a short on, yeah. Again, you can see this right here. This is hourly. This is just, look, it came right at the points here. Multiple test entries, but I don't know what your entry was, but if you let us know what your entry was. Oh yeah. So I mean, again, so some people tend to premeditate. I don't. I like to see a few tests. So this is it right here. Look at that. So you do have a high chance of this going higher again. test it, retest it, but more it depends on how many retests it gets, but just make sure your margin is as low, 14,480. Okay, so you're actually down a bit here, but I'm sure you're probably going on a very low margin, so got to be patient. I think also you got to be careful. Today we had what's it called? Sorry, we had the EU CPI came in a bit lower. Okay, so when I saw this morning, I thought, okay, you got to stay off because the CPI is saying something else right now, that inflation, and we know what that means. That's going to be, if it's down, then of course it's bearish for the dollar, which means it's bullish for anything European. So, I didn't really get time to trade this, but I wasn't expecting a dip. I was expecting a rally at some point, as seen here. But again, that's not technical. That's the news that would disrupt my setup. Okay, final thing I wanted to talk about is final thing I wanted to talk about is so some of us have been in markets, stock markets, etc., for a while. And speaking of the stock markets, there's something a lot of us are, got bags, etc. And even though this market moves in twists and turns, and one most important thing we do not factor, that we need to factor, is the bankruptcy risk. Okay, I posted a few stocks yesterday. I said, I haven't been able to do much more deep dive. Could do, which I said could be facing bankruptcy risk, and a few of them, this one, for example, Kavana. I know people who are invested in this, and you might forget about all this odd move up and down. Don't, one thing people tend to do is they buy the dip. They say you haven't sold as long as you haven't lost as long as you haven't sold. I think is wrong statement, wrong way to think, because if you look at Kavana, this is a second-hand car sales company, whatever it is. Look, I'm sorry, but some people bought this as 379, and this is something that's gone down from 379 all the way to its present predicament right now. In terms of, so this is where fundamentals matter, and so far, sorry, I wanted to put something else on. Always, what am I looking for? Okay, let's just see. I'll rather do this instead. So if you look, Kavana's down. It's been down. If you're gonna break even, you're gonna be 6,230% to break even at this point. Yeah, and that's how bad it's down. So if you want to break even, you need to be up 6,236%. So again, that's something you need to factor in. So we need to look at the run rate, in terms of the cash they have, the bond rates. This is something I'm not going to talk about in this meeting. But one thing I'm trying to state is that if you are in a stock or you're looking at buying the dip, you got to be careful. Some of these companies do not have they're just burning money at a fast pace, and they don't have the funds to sustain them to the next how do I call it, to the next bull run. A lot of them have less than a year. I think Kavana, they have quite a lot of they have quite a lot of properties, assets which they can turn into cash. But then again, the CEO is a bit dicey based on the background. You could read a bit about them. Likewise, Beyond Meat. Yeah, we all want to eat well, eats alternative meats, etc. But again, when you're facing cost of livelihood, I think that will come at a price. This also, they're burning so much cash that is just beyond belief. Another one I mentioned was Snapchat. I know some of you might say, personally, I don't know. I don't know who's using Snapchat, but look, even when the market is bullish, okay, you got to understand that Look, there's so many gaps on here. Okay, you got to understand how would you, but I don't know. I can't buy this thing right now. I'm gonna be patient with myself. And a few others. Okay. Now, how about the ones we want to look into? Which ones should you buy? I mean, look at their earnings as well. Very important. So they had a surprise earnings, just still down, etc. It's just constantly not good. So how about the ones you look for? Very simple. I'm not going to give any one tonight, by the way, but you've got to look for the ones that's got, year on year cash, or even quarter on quarter, constantly keep raising their cash. They've got stability. They've got room, especially. And you might say, yeah, but some of these guys pay dividend. But yes, they do pay dividend, but can they afford it? One of the things, sorry, pardon me. One of the things I used to teach was some of these stocks pay dividend, but even though they do pay dividend, but speaking of the dividend that they pay, they actually are, you got to look at the payout ratio. Some of them are paying way more than they can afford in payout, in dividend. So these are some of the things you need to look into before you buy the dip, so to speak. Okay. So some people say, oh, does that mean I'm probably just going to stick to the, what do I call it? The usual names that I know. If you want to do that, that's fine. That's number one. But you have to understand some of these guys, they are hugely crowded and you probably would not make as much as you think you will, as much as you will like. Hey, better safe than sorry, right? That's fine. But second thing I'm doing now is I'm including in the watch list like a rating up to 5-star rating. So 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. But again, it's just based on what the research I've done. So I think if you want to buy the dip, probably look into the watch list. If it's anything 1 star, 2 star, 3 stars, no matter how cheap, just stay away, except you think, you know what, I can gamble and take that risk. Does not mean we cannot trade it, by the way. It's just, it doesn't mean we cannot trade it. It just means I would personally not recommend investing in them. And that's it really. When we're in the bull run, the money's flying left, right, and center. It's okay to lose a little bit of GAD. But once you've got, the money is a bit tight and the market is just literally cutting and dividing everything, then at that point, you got to, have a laser focus, with where and decide rightly where your money goes to. And that's all that matters. I think that's literally what I wanted to discuss tonight. I'm not sure we've got anything I probably want to raise, but if anyone's got a question, can you please let me know? Do we have any question? Am I alone or did everyone sleep off?
You're not alone. We're here.
Oh, Esther, we'll get your presentation tonight. Are you ready?
No.
You've been posting us. When is it going to be ready?
When General gives that one first.
When what?
When General gives that one first.
General Naomi.
Yes.
Okay. Right, guys, do you have any question? No question?
I have something to say, Beda.
Is it the presentation?
No, from my shade. Would I ever survive German 40?
At that point, let's have a look. So you might never survive for another 20. If it doesn't come back now, forget it for another 20 years. So this is, yeah. So one thing is, when it comes to how do I call it, recession, etc. These things are where you have to price in your buys, every 10 years, factor this in your investment journey. This is my third recession. This is my third bear market. I don't know why I tend to call 2020 a bear market, because 2020 is because 2020 was I'm gonna call that a snap really. And what happened in 2020? If you look at it, let's look at this on the daily. Look, 2020 happened. It dipped literally from 19th, and we're back. We're back even by, look at that. Sorry, 19th of 18th, 19th of February. But we even back again. Oh, that's December even. But okay, let's just say we dipped on 18th, 19th of February, but we started moving again, literally heavily as well by March. Look, May, June, 3 months. So that happened. But what was the entry point again?
For me,
Yeah, that entry point.
12,600.
12,000.
Yes.
Oof. I kind of feel like I never heard about it. Yeah, I know, right? So if you look
Yeah.
at 12,600, let's, okay, just give me a minute. I'm just gonna have a look. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you look at the market on a bigger lens, it literally, it has fully recovered, left that zone. Look at that. Jesus, man, 12.6. Yeah, literally pivot points here. Can you see that? Turning points, and for good for a scalp, but definitely not for a swing. Are we ever going to get back here? March? Seems like every March, July, that's 4 months later. Another 4 months, or okay, just a month. September, but I don't think we're going to get back there again. Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. So, oh God.
Let me. I'm just gonna have to cut my loss.
Yeah. So no, but the hedging, I think the hedging you keep coming out, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So no. At this point, I mean, what I'm going to be doing, I'm looking at is, key resistance point. This point. So let me just say, let me clone this thing. Right here. If you go beyond this point, I think the worst is over, and I don't think it's. I think it's a bye-bye for now, until the next recession. And I'm not saying recession is over, but the other thing is they haven't officially triggered a recession. Neither has Germany. If Germany triggered a snap recession, do you know what? We might still hit that point, but most indicators are pointing that recession would not be triggered. Considering, I mean, look at what we just saw today in terms of the news, which so things are improving in terms of the data. So which is why the people do not want to force a recession. Because when it comes to recession, you expect, okay, apart from the negative Q and Q GDP, negative GDP, Q and Q over Q rather, but you do expect also all these things to be poor, to be bad. But right now it looks like no, it looks like the other indicators are positive, which is oil is coming down as well, which is just not not showing, and the markets, the companies, the market, the make of the market, they themselves are triggering these things themselves. They've been proactive. Okay, Facebook, I think, cutting 11,000 workforce. A few of them cutting a huge sizable portion of their workforce just to downsize and shrink and be lean, and just to be prepared. So even if there's a recession, they know that, okay, there's already been a slowdown. We've been preparing for this already. And so those are the things, indicators that affect the markets. So if a snap recession is called, especially now that we've been expecting it, I don't think it might be as bad. And the shock to the market might not be as great or as grave. So wow, no, I doubt it. Apologize.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, but wow, it's literally at this point.
Yeah.
Really at this point. Oh God, you got nerves of steel. How do you do it? Is that why you were ill?
No. That was not why. I was
No, I'm joking.
I was just down.
I'm
And
joking.
then, yeah, I was just down.
Well, you made more, right? From the market still?
Yeah, I've been trading on the side, but like lately I've been distracted because I'm packing and I'm about to travel, so I've not really been trading.
Getting
So
ready for dirty December. I understand.
no, I'm good on the course.
I know you mentioned. Okay, do we have any other pointer?
Please, can you look into US 30 for a short?
I was thinking you're gonna tell me to look into what's it called? Sand.
No, not today. Not today.
Yes, 30. So if you look into US 30, so I wouldn't want to take a short going into close of the market. That's just number one. Because most times when there's a Fed meeting, the market tends to analyze it for the day. The next day is where you see the real effect is. So you might think, oh, there's a bounce right now today, but you wouldn't know the real effect until tomorrow. So, but again, what do I see? Oh, this is really, really strong. No, I'm not going to take a shot. Not on here. Not now. No. Because no matter how it is, actually, each turning point is just, yes. Yeah. No, I need a confirmation of some sort. But right now, definitely no, would not take it. And this is okay. Right, can you see you couldn't break this level and it's just gone break this next level. So no. Let's see. Yeah. I wouldn't take a shot now. No. It's like literally trying to stop a moving train. He's trying to push, stand in front of a moving train and say, I want to stop it. I would not take this shot. Definitely not. Not now. Scalp, maybe that's different, but that's within the market. But especially if the news is still fresh, it's just reacting to the news. But I'll wait till tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Final question? Nobody. Okay. Again, something I've been saying, guys, is please, as much as you can, look at the watch list. I know I've not been saying it, but I tend to do a lot of work in there. I review it over and over. You can make your own selection as much as you want. And but again, a lot of people are buying the dip right now. Personally, I'm not for growth stocks. I'm only, just holding on to, I think just two, but hold on to a lot of cash. Because when you think it's over, that's when they surprise you. And that's what the market does most especially. So just be careful. So, a little, as little as possible to say, I've got a foot in the game, but then you want to hold as much cash as possible to say, okay, so I'm ready and I'm fit when I think it's time to be ready. Okay. Okay. I guess no one else wants to say anything. Yes, Madam, yes, nobody. In that case, have a pleasant evening and catch you in the group later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.